Fernwood Tonight, coming to you live with your host for tonight, Mr. Barth Kimball. Tonight, Barth's guest will be Dr. Stanley Turnbull with a home test for mental illness. And Happy Kine and the Mirth Makers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. And now, your host and mine, Mr. Barth Kimball.
Wowee. Thank you very much. This is another edition of Fernwood Tonight, and I'm Barth Kimball, here to host it and set it off and make sure it has some talent on it. I certainly appreciate you people tuning in every night and coming down to the studio here and seeing us. It's just wonderful. It's not really a mystery to me, though. I know why you do it. Same reason that I think over the past 10 years or so, I think I can probably count hundreds of people that have come to see me, and I think I know why. You want to hear good, solid bossa nova music well played. Absolutely, everyone does. And I want to give you my very, very best music when I do write the stuff, and I do the bossa nova probably as well as anyone from down south, and I mean south of the border. The problem is, I'm new in Fernwood. It's just like a fresh start for me. Had a little problem in Miami. You may have heard about it, and if you hadn't, fine. But I don't want to get off on the wrong foot, that's for sure. I want to give you my very, very best bossa nova number. Now, the problem is, again, being new in Fernwood, I don't want to step on any toes. And this song, which happens to be my finest bossa nova hour, I'd have to say, it's not that long. I mean, you know, it's just a short song. But it has a few words in it that, well, quite frankly, might not be for Fernwood. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more. We'll call them big city words. Mostly because you see them written on walls in big cities. It's not that I particularly try to write what somebody might call an off-color song. For crying out loud, that's beneath me. But it happens to do with the way I write my songs as is. I use a method called stream of consciousness, or in the case of this song, it's really more puddle of consciousness. I think have a little trouble with moving water. But in short, what I'm saying is I don't really do this. It didn't happen inadvertently. It didn't really happen vertently. It's just a word will slip in now and then, and I don't know what to do about it because I really want to play you my best song. And son of a gun, again, I don't want to offend. A lot of you people are on dates here tonight, and I think that's just darling. I firmly believe that it's proper to at least take her to dinner first. And I've always stuck by those guns. Or a movie, depending on what's playing. I'll tell you what I can do. I think I'll sing it for you anyway. What the heck? But if I come to one or two of these words, and there's only one or two in the song, really, that I think might cause someone to have even less of a good time than they're going to have, what I'll do is I'll just hum that word. Okay? That way, you people who might be understandably a little squeamish, you have nothing to worry about. And you people who are just a taste hipper, I think you know who you are. You'll know what I'm talking about anyway, right? Heck, it's Fernwood. A lot of you probably even done it. I'll just get the trusty axe over here, and here goes. Don't worry. I'm going to give my censor a little night off. Lord knows he works hard enough with Jerry here. Last night I took you home, and we began to You were such a only 17. Rubber shirts, leather skirts, and a quart of Mr. Clean. Pick up the soap. Mayonnaise and rope. Then from the chandelier, the three of us. Hospital. Whips and chains. Great Danes. Now would be a great time to introduce Jerry Hubbard, but we'll be right back after this.
Thank you, Happy. In recent months, the big television networks have broadcast some prime-time specials to test the American public's ability to cope with our own problems. There was the National Survival Test. Remember that one, Jerry?
I don't really know. Yes. Oh, that's the one I found.
That was to determine how we would react in the case of an earthquake or a flood. There was the National Physical Fitness Test to determine what shape our bodies are in. My next guest is a psychologist from Gary, Indiana. Quite a drive, huh?
Steel City.
Yes, it is the Steel City. Yes, it is. And he has prepared a test that you can do in your own home to determine if you are mentally ill. You'll need a pencil and a paper for this, of course, and please gather the whole family, young and old, around the set. Remember, no one is too young or too old to be bonkers. So, please welcome Dr. Stanley Turnbull. Well, you
Never know exactly what to say to a doctor like this. Should I say, how are you, or I'm fine, or pleased to meet you? I'm afraid they'll read something into it, and...
I think you probably said too much already. You must be a little nuts yourself.
You feel.
Must be a little nuts yourself after a drive like that, huh?
Well, actually, Barth, I flew in.
Oh, all the way from Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could have paid for that. Doctor, why a home test for mental illness?
Well, Barth, I'd like to throw out some statistics for you, if I may.
Throw away.
Okay. There are only 24,000 trained psychiatrists in America today. Only 545 qualified institutions that can handle therapy. And yet we suspect that 1 out of 10 Americans have some sort of mental disturbance that could be helped by treatment.
Uh-huh. So by taking your test, they can answer the question of just how well adjusted am I, right?
That's exactly right.
And whether or not they should get counseling.
It's the first step. You got to figure out if you need treatment. No use getting treatment if you don't need it, and vice versa. No use sitting around needing treatment and not getting it.
Yep.
That's absolutely right, Jerry. What we feel is that it's always better to nip these little problems in the bud, these undetected problems, before they bloom into, you know, your general neurosis. You never know when the mild-mannered guy next door just packs a submachine gun and wipes out the secretarial pool. Happens a lot of times.
Wires that shotgun to the neck for the weekend.
Wingo, you know,
Not
they're
my idea of a
gone.
necktie. No,
That's
sir.
right. So we want to help with this test.
Well, that's great. Doctor, I think we could go along for hours here saying a bunch of meaningless things. Why don't we instead get right to your test, and what's the first question?
Absolutely. Okay, this first question has to do with self-loathing. Okay, question number 1. How many times a day do you wash your hands? None? 3? 10? 100? More than 100? Do you wonder why? Okay, question number 2.
Of course, those answers could change every day depending on if you're doing nothing, or maybe you're getting out working in the garden with manure and fertilizer. You might...
What's number 2?
Incidentally, we don't have a paper and pencil there. Maybe we'll just remember our answers.
Sure, just play along in your own alleged mind. Question number 2. I want everybody out there to close their eyes and imagine that you're walking down a dark street. You hear footsteps behind you, and when you turn around, who do you see? Okay, now turn around again. Turn around again. Who is there this time? Is it the same person? Are you sure there's someone there? Hey, let's face it, is anyone ever really there? Aren't we just a little bit peculiar? Okay, question number 3. I'd like all of you out there to write your own name down on the piece of paper in front of you.
Again, we don't have a paper and pencil. We'll just remember ours.
Doctor, something occurred to me, too. If there are mentally ill people out there, I'm kind of worried about this constant use of the word pencil and paper, because the pencil is a pointed object. Could they possibly do the same thing with a crayon, something like that, something a little duller?
Say, look. We're not worried about inflicting self-wounds here. You know, you can say pen and parchment. It's the same kind of thing, you know?
Okay, just wanted to clear it up.
Just so you don't say take a knife and carve it into the wall or something.
That's what I'm worried about, soldering iron on your own stomach or something.
Iron it into the carpeting. Maybe soap on the mirror might be...
Burn it into the side of a library.
That's what you want to stay away from.
Right, of course.
Say, if it's all right with you, those people out there can use crayons. I don't care.
Fine, that was my point. Okay, now we had question number, where were we now?
You've got me, Barth. Oh, we're on,
And we're glad we have him, aren't we?
that's right. Kind of a role reversal type thing then. Okay, we're on question number 3, and I want everybody out there to write their name down on the piece of paper in front of them. Okay, have you...
Everyone's case will be different, so don't cheat and look at your neighbor's answer.
Okay. All right, you got your paper and your pencil, you got your name written down. Now, is this name the same name that appears on your driver's license? If not, why did you change it? And if so, why not?
You know, I can see a lot of people out there kind of going to cop out maybe and go downtown and get a new driver's license, which is not the answer, incidentally. I think the answer there is you should have professional help.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you're Tony Curtis or someone who changed their name for professional reasons, in case...
Then you've already had professional help,
That's
Jerry.
true, yes. And he can afford the best, too.
Probably doesn't even drive his own car, Jerry.
That's probably... I wouldn't if I were...
I guess less said the better is probably the only thing you can really say about that.
The best thing about this test is the continuity involved. If we could move along,
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, our problem, Doctor, is we had a bear act on earlier, supposedly, and the bear died. So we just have to kind of... Sorry. Oh, the pelts are valuable, so we're not worried. So.
Sure thing. Okay, now,
Are our eyes open or closed? Let me get
okay,
this
your
straight.
eyes are open. Okay, there. Okay, your eyes are open and your pencils are ready, and I'm a very patient doctor.
Okay, doctor needs patience. Oh, but seriously. Oh, I make myself laugh sometimes.
Hey, you know, I can take kidding just as well as the next guy.
Great.
Okay. Question 4. How many times a day do you really wash your hands? I mean, really. No, really. I mean, is it 10? Is it 50? Is it 100? Is it more than 100? Come on. Let's have a straight answer.
Of course, if someone got up to wash their hands since the last time you asked that question, they could really have a problem. Suppose they wash their hands 3 times, and then since then washed it 25, they're in a whole different category. If they're anything like me, they come back and the paper and pencil is gone. They got to start all over again. If you were writing your answers with soap on a mirror, then you might have a tendency to, hey, try to wash the soap off your hand in between them.
I have one more question if you'd like me.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Look, yeah.
Show our viewers here. We got this on. I'd like to ask you people here, people in the audience perhaps, and people at home, what does this look like to you?
I don't know if we can show a picture like that on television. Oh, doctor.
Actually, this isn't fair because I know what it is. So I'm going to disqualify myself. So
Hey,
go
let
ahead.
me ask the question, okay? Does this look like the voice of a person that is still alive? No? Does it look like the voice of a dead person? Why do you see a dead person in this ink blot test? Hey, forget about even writing this down. Just raise your hand. You in the audience, raise your hands. Uh-huh. Come on, don't be bad. Uh-huh, see? A filthy hand right there. Is it any wonder why people hate you? That is interesting.
Okay, I think it might be a nice time to open up our phone lines for all the mentally ill out there to call us in. It's 555-5624, 555-5624.
Incidentally, it might be interesting to know that the number out of town is also 555-5624. Whoa, ask them to call in, and that's what they do.
Fernwood tonight, are you mentally ill?
Is this Fernwood tonight?
Sure is.
Is this a television show?
Yes, it is. It's Fernwood tonight.
I'd like to talk to the television show.
You are. I
Is
think
this the television show?
Yeah, I think we have our first winner.
I want to ask that doctor there, you know, why he's so worried about how many times I wash my hands. Because I'm not worried. I know my hands are clean. I'd like to know how many times he washes his own hands, and why doesn't he start worrying about himself and his own hands? Because anybody who thinks my hands are dirty is a mentally ill person himself.
Can I put you on hold for a second? Doctor, the caller would like to know how many times a day you wash your little patties.
You know, I think that's an incredibly sick thing to ask of a doctor.
Okay. Sir, the doctor seems to feel you're a complete nutcase, okay? Okay, thank you. How did he even dialed it himself? I don't know.
Lucky we didn't have to go through a lot of sane calls. Wasted a lot of time.
Absolutely. It's really true. Let's make him our winner. What do you say?
Sure, fair enough.
And for our winner, we have some wonderful prizes, don't we, Jay?
That's right, Barth. Our caller will enjoy dinner for two at Lenny's American Restaurant. Try the tangy fish special of the day or the businessman's burger cone Lenny. Free parking, and please wait to be seated by the hostess. And from Peterson's Hardware, a $12 gift certificate for a mix-and-match bathroom set. Choose from a wide selection of seat covers, tissue holders, and toothbrush stands at Peterson's. And remember, Peterson's puts you next to godliness. Now back to you, Bart.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Doctor, it's been very interesting having you here. I think the test probably helped a lot of people out there. I think there's probably some people out there, however, eating their test papers. You know, there are screwballs. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll be right back after this commercial message.
Martin, turn on
Oh, you're getting better at that, Hap. It's a happy kind, incidentally, and the Mirth Makers, our wonderful orchestra. Happy, come on. Boy, their sense of time goes right down the chute when you leave, doesn't
Takes
it?
a strong hand. You know, I really should have a baton, my wife said just the other day. You know, I know it's a small group, but, I mean, they play like 6 or 7 men. And
That's right. Just 5 guys and have the sound of a 6 or 7-piece orchestra.
right.
It's amazing.
Those numbers, though, are really music to my ears when I hear it. It's wonderful to hear that.
The way they play.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes they play music. I mean,
But then sometimes, apparently, you do a little bit more than music. I think we all know about your Bun and Run restaurant here in town. It's doing
yes.
pretty well.
It's doing
Good,
great. Well,
very,
our
very good.
specializing, you know, the hamburgers, hot dogs, which I think we told you
Yeah,
before.
how's that
Heck of
doing
an
down
idea.
there?
Very good. We had to have it degreased the other day, and we had a terrible time. The grease all over the floor. You know.
Incidentally, those friends that I sent down, they are dropping the lawsuit. That's all over. It's,
Yes,
it was a great misunderstanding. I did a little quick talking there.
we had to go to small claims court, you see, because we sell 15-cent hamburgers.
And some good came of it, because now you have that stomach pump of your own down there. And
Yes, sir.
So there's a silver cloud to every lining, isn't there?
Yes, that's right.
There's a silver lining to every
Silver
cloud.
lining to every cloud, Jerry.
We
but that's
have
not
our
the
own
best.
compressor, too, which we got at the local hardware
They
store.
usually throw that in.
Yeah, they'll throw it up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Compressor, yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, I understand you're branching even further. Am I right? And
Yes,
going
well,
into-
the franchise business is very, very hot, you know, especially in where we are in Ohio. And there's one item that I think that a lot of people like, especially women, and that is we're starting a franchise for hem stitching. And the headquarters are going to be in Canton, Ohio, yes. They have hem stitching and picoing and button covering, and then we make buttons like half ball and so forth.
Sure.
We have make buckles, we pleat, we have accordion pleating, we have sunburst pleating. And
Wow.
We have everything that you can imagine. And
Now, would
bowling
that-
shirts.
Would that cover needlepoint as well?